I'm Dr. Nelva Lee, and I stand before you today with a heart full of gratitude and determination. Did you know that 70% of those that are incarcerated have the equivalent of a fourth grade education? That breaks my heart because it shows what happens when we fail our children. Dr. Condoleezza Rice once said, "Education is the great equalizer." And I know this truth personally because I've lived it. When I was a freshman in high school, I made the decision to become one of the first in my family to obtain a college degree. I worked hard, earned straight A's, and got inducted into the National Honor Society. The summer between my junior and senior year in high school, I obtained a trade certificate so that I could pay my way through college. And it worked. First, getting a bachelor's, then a master's, and ultimately a doctorate in healthcare administration. Education has opened up so many doors for me that I never thought imaginable. I have been appointed by Governor Kemp to the Department of Community Health. I was elected as the first chair of the National Board of Certification for Medical Interpreters. I was elected first as chair and now as vice chair of the Bridge Wellness South. I have been asked to sit on the steering committee of LifeWise, which is a private organization that seeks to train biblically based character development to students. I love education so much that I founded and was CEO of a trade school that trained individuals to become medical interpreters. Through that school, I saw countless of individuals earn their pride and their purpose. That to me is a true American dream. But that's just on my professional level. On a personal level, I have been married to my husband and best friend for over 25 years, and together we have 3 amazing children, and I have been a very involved mother in their educational journey. For my first son, he is borderline genius, but also on the spectrum. I chose to homeschool him through the 5th grade. He went on to Georgia Tech with an academic scholarship, graduated college, and is now working as a civil engineer. My second son, who was a bit of a late bloomer, we decided to have him repeat the pre-K so that he could enter kindergarten knowing his letters and phonics. And he is now a sophomore in high school at Stronger Christian School, a school, by the way, that I have taught as a substitute teacher. And he's doing amazing. He's decided that he's going to follow his brother's footsteps to Georgia Tech and become a civil engineer. Now, our daughter, who we adopted from Puerto Rico from the foster care system, came to us as an 8-year-old, not only with language barrier, but also with an IEP, an individual education plan. And although she learned English quickly within 3 months, we decided to pull her out of the public school system and put her in a Montessori school because she had so many learning gaps. And she thrived in the Montessori system. And like every mother knows, no 2 children are alike. One size does not fit all. And we should strive to match the child with the learning environment that best suits them and not the other way around. And this is why I am a staunch proponent of school choice. See, I believe that parents and not the school system know best what learning environment best suits their children. And we should strive to help parents meet those needs for their child. I'm a staunch proponent of the Promise Scholarship Act that was signed into law last year by Governor Kemp. The Promise Scholarship Act that allocates $6,500 to families whose children attend a school that is in the bottom 25 percentile. However, I don't believe that law went far enough. See, you will have to live in a district where your child attends a school in the bottom 25 percentile to obtain that scholarship. It also excludes anyone who is currently homeschooling or sending their children to private school. I'd like for us to do something different, something similar to Florida, where they allocate $8,000 per child regardless. And it's not only for children to attend a private school, they can use that scholarship in any learning environment. Again, I believe that parents and not the school system know best what learning environment best suits their child. Again, Florida ranks first in the nation. Georgia ranks 38th. At the bottom of the pool, guys. We can do better. Let me address the funding issues with school choice. Here in Georgia, between $20,000 to $30,000 is allocated per child per year for their learning journey. I believe that the bulk of that money, if you're taking $6,500 or $8,000 out, that the bulk of that money needs to be returned to the school system. It should not go to administrative costs, and that is currently what's happening. So we need to reverse that trend and make sure that administrative costs are not over 50%, which is currently the case. That is bloated administration. We need to return those monies back to the school systems so that we can use those resources for our students. Now, my second initiative, and that is of trade schools. I would like to see every high school graduate not only with a high school diploma, but also with a trade certificate. Just like a trade school education was a game changer for me, not only did it allow me to have a good paying job while I was working myself through college, but when I completed my degree, it allowed me to obtain a good job because I had experience relevant to the industry of my degree. And I'd like to see that for every college graduate. So many college graduates graduate and are unable to get a good paying position because they don't have relevant experience. Now, for those that have no intention of going off to college, a trade certificate opens up doors for them. It gives them a career, not just a job. It allows them to pay the bills and become full-fledged members, contributing members of society. And we're not talking just about blue-collar trades here. Yes, we need the plumbers and the electricians and the welders, but we also need coders. And they're in the healthcare field, there are so many open positions that could be filled with those with a trade certificate. And it will not add to the budget. This initiative does not add to the budget because we are already having dual enrollment for children. They can simply allocate those funds from dual enrollment into the trade schools. But guys, this is all pipe dreams unless we address the root causes that are plaguing us here in Georgia. As I mentioned, Florida, with its amazing school choice options, ranks first in the nation. Georgia ranks 38th. 38 out of 50. And by the way, those numbers have only declined under Richard Wood's tenure. He's been in office 11 going on 12 years, and numbers have declined. Our children are doing worse under his tenure. 70% of our fourth graders are not proficient in reading. That has declined under Richard Wood's tenure. 76% of eighth graders are not proficient in math, according to Kids Count data. That also has worsened under Richard Wood's tenure. See, these aren't just numbers to me. These are children with faces and futures, and they deserve better. We can do better. And under my leadership, we will. I'm asking you to go to my website, drnelvalee.com. See, guys, I don't just want your votes, I want your voices. Go on drnelvalee.com and schedule a visit. I'll come to your churches, your restaurants, your homes, because I want to hear your voices, your concerns, your ideas. Because when I become Georgia's Superintendent of Schools, your voices will be part of every decision that I make. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the children of Georgia.